In the land of Israel, long ago, there was a prophet named Elijah. He was a man who spoke for God, standing strong in a time when most of the people had forgotten who their true God was. Instead, they worshipped false gods, especially one named Baal, a god of storms and rain. But not everyone had turned away. Elijah remained faithful, and he had an important message for King Ahab, the ruler of Israel. Ahab was a wicked king, and he had a wife, Queen Jezebel, who encouraged him to follow Baal. Together they led the people of Israel astray, but God had a plan to show everyone who was truly in charge. One day Elijah stood before the people and spoke boldly. "How long will you waver between two opinions?" he asked. "If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, then follow him." The people were silent, unsure of what to say. They had been caught between their faith in God and the lure of Baal. Elijah knew that something needed to happen to prove once and for all who the true God was. Elijah proposed a challenge. "Let's have a contest," he said. "We'll each prepare a sacrifice and we'll call on our gods. The God who answers by fire, he is the true God." The people agreed. They were eager to see what would happen. The prophets of Baal were many, 450 to be exact. They built their altar, laid their sacrifice, and began to call on Baal. "Oh Baal, answer us!" they cried, their voices rising in desperation. But nothing happened. Elijah watched for a while, and then, with a bit of humor, he taunted them. "Maybe your God is deep in thought or on a journey," he said. "Perhaps he's asleep and needs to be awakened." The prophets of Baal, embarrassed but undeterred, shouted louder and began to cut themselves, hoping their blood would convince Baal to act. Still nothing. The day wore on, and the prophets of Baal grew tired and frustrated, but there was no answer. Baal did not respond because Baal was not real. Elijah knew it was his turn. He took 12 stones, one for each of the tribes of Israel, and he rebuilt the altar of the Lord. He laid the wood, prepared the sacrifice, and then he did something unexpected. He ordered that 4 large jars of water be poured over the altar, 3 times. The water drenched the sacrifice, the wood, and even filled the trench around the altar. The people gasped. How could fire possibly light this? Then with the altar set, Elijah stepped forward and prayed, a simple but powerful prayer. "Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel and that I am your servant. Answer me, Lord, answer me, so these people will know that you, Lord, are God and that you are turning their hearts back again." Immediately, fire fell from the sky. It consumed the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, even the water in the trench. The people fell on their faces, crying out, "The Lord, he is God! The Lord, he is God!" Elijah's challenge had been answered. The God of Israel had proven himself mighty, and the people knew now who the true God was. In that moment, they turned their hearts back to him. But Elijah wasn't finished yet. He commanded that the prophets of Baal be seized and brought to the valley. There they were executed for leading the people astray. That day, Israel was reminded of the power and faithfulness of God. But the story didn't end there. Elijah, though victorious, faced many more challenges ahead, and the people once again had to choose whether to follow God wholeheartedly. The story of Elijah and the prophets of Baal teaches us a powerful lesson. It reminds us that there is only one true God, the creator of heaven and earth. We are often tempted to follow things that promise us power, pleasure, or control, but only God is faithful, only God is mighty. So the next time you face a choice between what's easy and what's right, remember Elijah's bold stand and the fire from heaven that proves God's power is real.